They say that you can be a magnet for your desires. This center, the G center, tells us how. Hello and welcome to this video all about the G center in human design. Our G center is this diamond that resides right in the center of our body. This diamond here is very closely related in the 7 chakra system to our heart chakra. However, there's a little bit of a difference between the G center in human design and the heart chakra, because the G center in human design and the actual heart center in human design, which is this little one over here, those two combine actually make up a little bit more of the heart chakra in the 7 system chakra system. I'm all over the place with my words today. So let's talk a little bit about this G center. This G center is called the magnetic monopole. It leads you towards your purpose, your identity in this life. And it is a magnet or a force that will bring things into your aura. So when you decide that you desire something, that you want something, this is the magnet that will pull things that are an energetic match to you into your auric frequency. The G center is the center of purpose, of direction, and it's also the center of self-love and identity. So people with this center defined have a very different experience than people with this center undefined. If you have this center defined in your chart, that means it's colored in any color. You have a consistent way of creating energy around your purpose, your identity, self-love, magnetism, and direction in your life. You always have this understanding of what you're here to do. You have this consistent sense of self. Self-love may come to you a little bit more easily than it would to somebody who's undefined. And your magnetism just radiates a little bit at a different frequency because you have this like singular focus direction that you know where you're going. And of course that may shift, but when you decide where you're going, like that is where your focus goes and your energy is consistently heading in that direction. This is also a center of authenticity, since the center rules our identity. When you are in alignment as a defined G center, you are unapologetically you. You know what makes you authentic. And when you're in alignment, you don't care about the outside influence of your authenticity. You don't shift yourself to try to make other people like you. You don't hide who you truly are. You let yourself shine. And when you have this self-love and you have this unapologetic authenticity about you, that's when you create magnetism towards you that's out of this world. However, when you're out of alignment in this defined center, this is when you have this self-doubt that you really are hiding who you are. You're not showing your true colors. You're trying to fit a mold of what other people think of you. And you don't think you're going to be loved for the core and the essence of you. And so you try to be someone that you're not. You also may really have a really hard time receiving compliments from people. Let's talk about being undefined here in your G center. So you are undefined in your G center if this diamond center in the middle of your body graph is white. This is, even if there's like little numbers that are colored in on your G center, you are still undefined if the center itself is white. Being undefined here means that you do not create a consistent energy around purpose, identity, self-love, magnetism, and direction. But that doesn't mean that you don't have any of these things. Actually, what you get to do is take in the energy of the environment and the people that are around you and try on all of these different directions. Try on their ability to love themselves in their certain way so that you can find what works for you. You are the wisdom keeper of identity and purpose and direction and self-love, because you have the experience of all of the different ways that these things play out. So because you are open here, you're actually something we call geomagnetic, meaning that your environment is extremely important for you and your magnetism. So being in a place, an environment that feels good and expanding to you is very important for your magnetism, for drawing things to you, for becoming that vibrational match of your energetic frequency to the things that you desire. If you are in a place that feels very heavy, very constrictive, and just not a pleasant environment for you, that is not going to be easy for you to become a vibrational match for the things that you desire. Your frequency is going to have a very difficult time elevating to a higher frequency because you are so sensitive to the environment around you. So if you are in alignment as an undefined G center, you actually don't have that consistent sense of identity, which means that your identity can shift based on the people and the environment that you're around. You get to allow yourself to shift and not judge yourself for that. You get to say, okay, this situation is inviting me to put on this identity, and I'm going to own that and be what this situation, this environment, these people need me to be, because I have the wisdom of all of these different identities. I'm the one who can help this situation by being the identity that this situation needs. And knowing and understanding that you play different roles with the different people in your life. So your identity and your personality may actually shift and change based on who you're hanging out with, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend group, whether it's family, parents, children. Your identity actually shifts because you're being the role that you are meant to be with that group of people. And this is a very positive thing for you. This helps you become that magnet. However, the key here when we get into unalignment is not letting, having these strong boundaries around not letting yourself become someone that you don't want to be. It's good to shift identities for the people who need you to be a certain way or to be a certain identity for them if it feels good to you. If you use your strategy and authority and decide this does feel good for me, this is who I need to be in this situation, then yes. However, if it at any time becomes something that you're not feeling good about, then it is not an aligned decision for you. You don't need an identity, a specific identity to make you lovable. You don't need a specific fit in the box label to make you somebody who's worthy, who's enough. You already are enough, and you need to see that. You need to love yourself, because the fluidity that you have in this center of who you are and your purpose in life is what actually makes you magnetic. You just have to see it yourself. You have to be inspired by this fluidity, that your purpose gets to change like the wind, and knowing that that is your magnetism. That's what people are drawn to. So my number one tip for supporting when you are out of alignment in this center, whether you are defined or undefined, is really practicing radical self-care, self-love, and self-acceptance. So doing any sort of fear clearing or shadow work around these negative feelings towards yourself. Because when you start to love yourself and see yourself for the gift that you truly are, your strengths, and letting your strengths just emanate from you, that's when you recognize yourself. Others are going to recognize you too. They're going to see that magnetism in who you are, because they're going to be like, wow, look at this person who is just so confident and comfortable in who they are. And to up level in your life and your business and your career, you want to have that sense of confidence. People are going to notice you and recognize you when you have this self-love, this self-acceptance, and this self-worth, because you're going to radiate this confidence. You're going to hold yourself higher. You're going to see yourself in a different light and know that you are worthy of the promotion, worthy of making multiple six-figure years in your business, worthy of the love that you've been calling in for yourself. When you radiate this confidence and you are fulfilled with who you are, you also become a magnet for everything you desire. And so the number one thing here is this self-love piece. Because remember, this is that magnetic monopole. And when your frequency is high around who you are, whether you're defined or undefined, you become that vibrational match for the things that you're calling in. So I'd love to know if you are defined or undefined in your G center. Please drop that in the comments below. And if you would like to dive deeper into any parts of your human design, I invite you to either watch my free Back to Basics Masterclass or download the Foundations Guide, where you can go deep into getting practical tips to embody, live, and breathe your design today. Or if you want it all done nice and tied up with a little bow for you, you can always book a reading from me where we go really deep into your chart, highlighting your strengths, your gifts, and your magnetism. All those links are below, and I'll see you next time.